Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a major diplomatic breakdown that shook international relations. The failed Ukraine ceasefire under the Trump administration. After confidently claiming he could end the war in Ukraine in a day, Trump brokered a ceasefire deal that was meant to stop the bloodshed. But things didn't go as planned. Russia, instead of easing tensions, ramped up its attacks. The world watched as the fragile agreement collapsed, leaving Trump's cabinet scrambling. So, what went wrong? And what are the consequences of this diplomatic failure? Let's break it down. The ceasefire negotiations. Following his inauguration, Trump wasted no time in pursuing peace talks between Ukraine and Russia. Unlike the previous administration, which firmly backed Ukraine's efforts to regain its territory, Trump shifted the U.S. stance. His goal? End the war quickly, even if that meant making concessions to Russia. On February 18th, high-level talks took place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. But notably absent from the discussions was Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed strong concerns over being excluded from negotiations directly affecting his country. Despite this, Trump pushed forward. A preliminary agreement was reached on February 25th, focused on economic cooperation and mineral resource development in Ukraine. In exchange, Trump expected Ukraine to concede parts of its territory, a controversial move that further strained U.S.-Ukraine relations. A contentious fallout. When Trump and Zelensky met days later, tensions exploded. Trump accused Zelensky of resisting peace efforts. The fallout was swift. The U.S. suspended military aid to Ukraine, a decision that threatened its defensive capabilities. For a brief moment, it seemed Trump's pressure tactics might force Ukraine into compliance. However, on March 11th, Ukraine accepted a 30-day ceasefire proposal. Russia, too, agreed, at least on paper. Trump celebrated it as a victory. But within hours of the ceasefire's supposed start, Russia resumed its attacks. Worse reports emerged accusing Russian forces of sabotaging their own pipelines to justify further aggression. It became clear that Putin had no intention of honoring the agreement. The Trump administration, left without a contingency plan, faced growing criticism. The role of Elon Musk. Adding another layer of complexity was Elon Musk. As head of the Department of Government Efficiency, Musk played an unexpected role in shaping U.S. policy. Through his company SpaceX, Musk had initially provided Ukraine with Starlink technology, essential for battlefield communication. However, as the war dragged on, SpaceX began limiting access to prevent its systems from being used for military strikes. Musk also used his platform on X, formerly Twitter, to weigh in on the conflict. He promoted controversial claims about Zelensky and suggested that Ukrainian oligarchs were the real obstacle to peace. His influence only added to the confusion surrounding U.S. foreign policy. What's next? With the ceasefire in tatters and trust in Trump's diplomatic approach fading, the future remains uncertain. NATO allies, including the UK and France, are stepping up support for Ukraine. Meanwhile, Trump's claims of having Putin under control are being questioned. Will the U.S. attempt a new peace deal? Will Trump's administration face further fallout? And can Ukraine continue to defend itself without unwavering international support? Only time will tell. What are your thoughts on this complex situation? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates on the Ukraine conflict and global diplomacy.